The content you're about to hear is a part of a paid programming segment. The views, opinions, and statements expressed belong solely to the sponsor and do not reflect those of Podcastic or its host. This segment is for informational and promotional purposes only and should not be considered as advice or endorsement. Listener discretion is advised.
Good day, good people. We are behind the scenes just tripping. I'm just telling you right now. Welcome to another purpose-filled episode of Lessons for the Journey. The purpose of this podcast is to share insights and information on women's wellness, understanding our whys, that's our WHYS, and our WISE. So our whys and the lessons that inspire us to take positive actions in ourselves, our families, and our communities. Our topics include women's wellness, seeing through a metaphysical lens, sharing spiritual insights, highlighting lessons for the journey, and building healthy relationships. I am your host, Dr. Hetheru, and I share this space with engaging co-hosts, guests, inspiring topics every Friday at 12 p.m. for a transformative 1-hour experience here on Podcastic Live and Facebook. You can expect deep, thought-provoking conversations on self-discovery and personal growth, special guests, locations, events, people, polls, and thoughts, co-hosts sharing wisdom and life-changing experiences and insights, a powerful blend of spiritual, metaphysical, and wellness lessons, and tools and strategies to help you elevate your mind, your body, and your spirit. Our show is produced by Chantel Mosley of Podcastic Studios. Our co-hosts include Ma'at Sabah, Mary E. Bayou, Nicole S. Miller, and special appearances by Dr. Calvin T. Mann. If you are seeking clarity, healing, personal empowerment, this podcast is for you. So we need for you to tune in, engage, and transform because your journey of self-discovery starts now. And so that you're prepared for this journey with us, we need for you to do a few things. One of the first things we need you to do is get your water. I don't care if in a cup and a bucket or a bottle. We need for you to get your water because one of the things that we often find is that we are often dehydrated and we do not know that. When you are not intentional about your water intake, especially when you're taking in new information, your mind, your body, your executive functions are only really prioritizing what's most important. And so we need for you to take in information. And when you take in this information, it's going to help you navigate from this point. The second thing we need for you to do is get your notebook, your journal, and your pen because there are going to be some things that you want to take down, some notes that you want to take that are going to help you in your self-exploration. So if you are ready, so are we. Today's topic, and we've been doing a few series of things now. We are still talking about the power of touch and relationships, but we're looking at the last time we talked about non-sexual touch and not that level of intimacy. Today we're talking deeply about that level of intimacy because touch is so important. And always before we always start with our Ma'at memos, and we do that to loosen your mind. We do that to look at what we need to know that's happening in our world and how we need to reflect on it. So we always start with our Ma'at memos before we get started. And so I am going to pull my card. I am pulling my card. Oop. All right. And the Yes, this is my self check.
That doesn't sound good.
This is indeed my self check. Let me tell you. It says, talk about your own mistakes before criticizing others' mistakes. Ooh. I'm going to say that again for the people who are ouching with me. Talk about your own mistakes before criticizing others' mistakes. And that is it's a much needed self-check, a reality check. And so what comes to me when I think about that is, I've been on this conversation about experiencing my son growing up and going off to college and being independent, and mom going through the process of stepping to the side to let him, to trust that what was planted in him is good seed, and to foster that seed by my holding the intention for him and for his success and for his, as he makes his mistakes, allow him to make those mistakes that will help him to grow, just like it helped me to grow when I was in that space. So when it said that, I'm referring back to some conversations that I had with him, like over the last week, and talk about your own mistakes before criticizing others. And so we had a conversation before he went off to school about, looking the part, so that all aspects of you is in alignment with what you're trying to do. And I went to drop something off to him, and he had on a tank top shirt, some camouflage jogging pants, and some flip flops. And I almost...
He's in college.
I know that.
He probably was more well dressed than half of them there.
A lot wear pajamas.
They do.
That's true.
They sure do.
Yeah.
So his goal is to be in media and in front of the camera. So part of his training is that he has to learn the software. He has to do all of those things before he's able to get in front of the camera. But you're always supposed to be prepared to be in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And so that's the other thing that they're teaching him. And so to see him like that, I'm like, okay, it might be okay for the athletes to walk around like that. But for, a public figure, I'm always saying this, but for a public figure, what you look like is going to always impact what you're trying to do. And so just to get him on, and we had a whole conversation about business casual and all that. He has the clothes he needs. So to see him, like when he came out, I was like, so that may not be a big deal for other people, because it's a big deal to me to be intentional about being my best at all times. So if you saw me at the grocery store, this is what you're going to see. It is a rare thing, and some people saw me without heels on one day, and they were more in shock than I was.
I was mortified. Looking at her,
I was mortified.
Wrong. But I couldn't figure out what it was, and I looked down. I was like, "Oh, she has on gym shoes."
Yeah.
Right. And so it's not. So I felt as I read this that one of the areas that I was criticizing was him at that time, but I was doing that compared to myself.
Okay.
And so because I'm a public figure too, right? And so if and I want to be, and I am my most authentic self at most times. If you saw me in the morning, I look like a bunny rabbit because I wear my hair and these little pom-poms. I look like a bunny rabbit. But other than that, this is pretty much what you see, and it's because it's meaningful to me. Everything about it is meaningful. So that criticism piece was really heavy on me. So, Ashe.
Yes, this is another one that resonates with me as well. Shout out to you, Miss My Eyes. Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yeah. So going through the change in life where I know it's a shift kind of going on. It's a lot of things that can be feared. The unknown is scary. But just understanding and working through it is what I'm trying to do now. And
it's what you're doing, not trying. It is what you're doing. You are doing it.
And I'm getting the tools and things necessary for my journey, so I'm excited.
Awesome.
So mine says, he who has nothing to hide hides nothing.
Ooh. Okay.
Well, for the most part, I think about 99% of the time, I don't want to say I tell the truth 90% of the time, but I kind of do. I don't have anything to hide, because if I said something, I stand by what I said. Mm-hmm. So, and the other thing is, when you don't tell the truth, if you lie about something, you have to try and keep track of that.
Yeah.
And for the most part, people don't.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you're not, the catch word now is being authentic. So if you're not being authentic or you're not being honest, you don't realize, but you could have said something 10, 15 years ago and you forgot you said it. You forgot you said that lie. Well, people remember.
Yeah.
You know, you can go back 25 years. Wait, dude, I thought you said you were at such and such's house at such and such day and such and such time.
Remember.
You know, and so rather than keep track of that, just be honest. Then you have nothing to hide. You know, so I don't have to worry about, you can question me about anything I did, where I was, and I'll tell you because I have nothing to hide.
Bless your heart.
Blessings. Thank you. And so we want to take a moment for those. I know you hear some of the cards, but we want to encourage you to get your own set, the my memos, and it's very helpful. Maybe you have a family meeting, maybe you have a conversation with your girlfriends or your mate, and you just want to get the conversations moving, and you want to get to know how a person is responding to certain situations or certain circumstances. This is a great way to do it, and we often use this in our programs. I use this when I'm having workshops, and of course, you see we use it on the podcast too. So I think this is an important tool to have in your toolbox. So we're going to help you to find out how to connect and get your own memos. So we're going to play that commercial right quick. All right, so we're going to circle back so that you make sure you get the contact information. We always do that before the end of the show. So if you missed the commercial, I told you to get your notebook and your notepads and your pen ready. So it's going to be more to come. So we'll make sure we circle back so you can catch any information that was missed today. So our topic again is the power of touch, but our lens that we're viewing touch and or affection, because you're going to see it used universally in this conversation, is really from and was inspired by Dr. Gary Chapman, his 5 love languages. And so I'm going to give you the 5 love languages. So if you don't know or don't remember or get stuck like I do trying to remember them all, even though it's 5, I'm going to give them to you. So 1 is affection, 2 affirmations, 3 acts of service, 4 gifts, and 5 is quality time. So those are the 5 love languages. And what I would like for you to do, I'm going to tell you one more time so you can. So I want you, as you have your notepad or your notebook or your journal, I want you to write them down. And once you write them down, I want you to think about putting them in order of priority, like what's most important. And this is what you receive, not what you give. The first list needs to be about what you need to receive for your love language to be prioritized, okay? This is very, very important and very, very telling about you, and we don't often talk enough about it, that when we talk about relationships and we're wondering why we're in conflict in relationships, often because the way I want you to treat me, I think that is also the way you want me to treat you, and that's not necessarily the case. And we get into some conflict in relationships around that, even getting to know somebody who you want to be in a relationship with. And so I'm gonna give them to you again. This is the list. It's these are the 5 love languages. Affirmation is 1. Affection, and I'm kind of using that and interchangeably with touch. So affection, affirmation, acts of service, gifts, and quality time. I hope you got them all, because we're just really focusing on affection today, that power of touch. And so here are 2 reflection questions. The first one, and of course I'm always going to pitch it to my aunt first. What does touch or affection fall in the order of priority for your love language? Where does it fall when you look at all 5 of them? Where would you say it fits?
For me, or what I do for other people?
No, this is how you receive, what you receive in terms of the 5 love languages. Where would it fall?
First, would probably be quality time.
Mm-hmm.
Affection, acts of service, affirmations, and gifts would be last.
Okay. Chantel, you want to try? What do you think was your number? Or where does affection fall? So affection was what number for you? 2. It was your number 2, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You said quality time and then affection. Okay.
Same. It'll be 2 for me.
It would be 2.
I really want to put it first, but the quality time is enough. I don't necessarily have to be touched. I just want us to be in the presence.
Okay.
Of one another.
So you would be 2. It would be... Okay, so it would be 2 for me behind acts of service. I was just thinking about, quality time. Mm-hmm. But still, because I love and I need hugs, so... Yeah. If I'm not...
God bless you.
If I'm not hugging and kissing for me, but if I'm not hugging, I need that. I need the energy boost. I need that for me so I can give it back to whoever is offering it to me too. So, so mine is 2. Affection would be second behind acts of service. Acts of service is my number 1. All right. And so the second question is, what are some of the ways that we can respond to affection to show it is important to us? To show it's important to us. And you don't have to be limited. It could be,
I think just reciprocating. Like if it's given to you, give it back, and that'll let a person know, inviting them in that it's okay. It's a safe space to do that, and it's no judgment here.
Mm-hmm. Nice. My aunt, how about you?
You have to let your walls down first to let people know that you need it. Mm-hmm. If you are, the strong one, which that's the one that everybody typically goes to, you're always putting out, but people don't realize that you need it back, because you always give the appearance that you're, not to say that you're not strong, but because you're strong, you give the appearance of being strong all the time, and so people don't see that you have a need. And so, that's something to look at, because being the strong one or the giver, you have a need too. And because you have that need, it's important that you express that to people. And let them know, like, it was wintertime, and I came outside, and my son had scraped the windshield, but he put a little heart on the windshield. So it was right by the driver's when I had to see it. So that was a form of affection. I said, and I took a picture of it. I said, that is the cutest thing.
Yeah.
So I called him and let him know. So it's not always about giving things. It could be something as simple as that. Mm-hmm. Mom used to write little things on our napkins and put it in our lunchbox. Aww.
Nice.
So there's small acts that you can do. Excuse me, but when you do them, when people does something for you, let them know that you appreciate it, and then in a way that's not that won't make you feel uncomfortable. Let them know that you need it as well.
Yes, thank you. For me, the best way for me is I ask. I will typically ask, and because I had to learn sometimes not to assume. Mm-hmm. And because often, I would say, well, everybody knows that you need some type of touch or something. And I used to make that assumption. So now I don't make the assumption. Now I ask, because I have asked somebody like, oh, I don't like to be touched.
Yeah.
I don't like to be touched. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So how do you guys prepare yourself for the response, or is that not even a thought that you go into when you do ask? Because I know that's a lot of a reason why a person won't ask is because of that rejection or just fearing what comes after that question. How do you guys prepare for that?
For me, I stay neutral and I stay out of the judgment zone.
Okay.
So I don't judge it as good, bad, right, or wrong. So
Okay.
once I remove that, whatever the response, I'm not offended or hurt
I think
by
that's
whatever
good.
they say. Yeah.
Okay.
And I realize that everybody is not the touchy-feely.
That's true.
And you can kind of look at their face or their body language and see how they're responding, and like, oh, okay, I apologize. So,
Yeah.
because I might be just going down the road hugging everybody.
Yeah.
Hugging everybody. If you there, you're getting it, right?
Okay.
But not, because I'm in I'm in that energy of that exchange. So I'm happy to do that.
Yeah.
But you might get to somebody like, I don't know you like that, So yeah. How about you?
If it depends. If it's somebody I know, then I would know how to respond to that
Okay.
person. It might be somebody that's going through something and they act like they don't want to be bothered. I might just grab them and hug them anyway.
Yeah,
And they'll
just
bust out
because.
and start crying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So even though sometimes people put that wall up, that's the exact opposite of what they really want. Even the person that says they don't want to be touched, you do. You're just uncomfortable with it.
Yeah.
So, again, it would depend on who it is, and I would discern what I think is appropriate under the circumstances.
Okay.
Sometimes you can hug somebody with your words. And it's like, you know what? You're going to have a better day than what you're having right
Yeah.
now.
That was good.
So you're just discerning the situation, I think.
Okay.
That's awesome. Thank you for the question.
Thank you, ladies.
All right, so our topic, we got a lot of information to share. As always, you don't see the notes that we have that just is so over. So the topic overview says that affection or physical touch, the love language involves far more than just casual affection. It is the sacred bridge that connects spirit, mind, and body, bringing intimacy, security, and a profound sense of belonging. From hugs to passionate embraces, touch reassures us. It helps us to know that we are seen, we are safe, and we are loved. In intimate adult relationships, physical touch also includes sexual expression. When intimacy is rooted in love and connection, it can become a form of devotion, healing, or even renewal. Beyond romance and lust or intentional and loving touch, affection also fosters trust, reduces fear, and deepens emotional bonds in every type of human connection. Today we are exploring intimate and sexual touch, the benefits from the mind, body, and spiritual perspectives. And so I want to kind of start off with these I call them jaw-dropping statistics. I learned that in a workshop. Jaw-dropping statistics, right? And so here are a few that I want to share. We're going to share some throughout this conversation, but the first one is skin-to-skin contact reduces stress hormones. It says research shows that holding hands can reduce cortisol, the stress hormone, by up to 50%, calming the nervous system almost instantly. Healing power of hugs. A 20-second hug releases oxytocin and the bonding hormone, lowering blood pressure and the heart rate. People who receive regular hugs have 32% stronger immune responses. So it helps also with your immune system. And then the last one is touch deprivation is deadly. Infants deprived of touch fail to thrive, even if fed and clothed. And adults' lack of affection or touch is linked to increased anxiety, depression, and loneliness, with one study showing loneliness has the same mortality risk as smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
That's a lot.
That's pretty. So these are my jaw-dropping statistics. I couldn't, when I said that, I was like, I wonder if people know that.
Wow.
Just the lack of touch is equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
For an adult. Wow.
A day. And so, when we have opportunities to have an exchange, we need to take those.
Yeah.
We need to take them, taking into account how you feel and that you feel safe. Some of the things that we already talked about. So the next segment talks about encouraging ways to express touch in intimate relationships, intimate adult, physical, and sexual relationships. The following examples speak to how touch is both sensual and sacred and can be a form of communication expressed deeper than words. So here's a few examples. So examples of sacred touch, sacred intimate touch: lingering hand caresses during a conversation, affirming attention and connection, forehead kisses, believe it or not. I won't comment. Forehead kisses symbolize protection, reverence, and a sealing of energy. And the third one says sexual touch as sacred play, seeing intimacy not as a performance, but a mutual giving and receiving, a rhythm of affection that says, your body is safe and cherished in my hands. Any thoughts on that? Any thoughts on the jaw-dropping statistics either?
I had not heard of these statistics before. But one thing that did pop in my mind when we talked about touch was that's why it's good to get animals. Because some people that cannot relate to or don't do well touching another person, they can get that same energy reciprocal with some kind of a pet. So I think that would be important as a substitute for the emotional needs and physical touch that they're not getting from other people.
That's a good insight.
Now the forehead kisses, that's interesting because when you do energy work, when I do treatments on people, that's one thing I do is massage the third eye area. And they just relax.
Wow.
Yes.
I don't remember exactly why that is. It is something to it, why it works, but I don't remember what that is. But.
Right. And it's interesting. I remember I had a male friend, and he was stressed. He was grieving, and he came over and we were talking, and I sat down and I had let him lay his head across my lap, and I just rubbed his head, and he because he was really upset, so he was crying because he was grieving, and he just completely relaxed, and just was breathing. And then after that, he started to share and open up in the spaces that were really where he was holding the grief, and he was like, I feel so much better. He's like, I know I'm having this experience, and I just lost this person that's really close to me. He said, but he was just surprised that he was able to open up and feel. And I was in my mind, I was holding the intention too. I think that was an important part of the experience that we were sharing. So he was open to receive it, and I was holding the intention for his heart to be comforted, for the family to be. That's what I was thinking as I was touching his head too. So, and I thought about that when I think about some of the pain that people endure, and headaches. And for me, headaches, if I can use ice. One of the things that I also found in my research is that when I use ice and I put it on my head, the moisture is actually penetrating your scalp. And so it's directly hydrating your brain and everything that is under there. And so it gives it a sense of relief. So if you have a headache or you feel migraines coming on, because I also put it at the back of my neck, they call it the nape of your neck, because that's your spinal fluid. And so you're adding to that, and so you're taking some of the pressure off. And it only takes me maybe about 15 minutes of that. I might put it at the top of my head, depending on what type of headache I have or where it is. On my temples, just above my hairline, my gray patches, y'all. And then on the top of my head.
Wisdom.
Right. And then the nape of my neck. Just a piece of ice until it melts. And then I feel much better. And it helps, especially for those who may suffer from migraines. I mean, there's some other deeper work, but that's just the surface that helps you to hydrate your body, and it goes direct and it goes faster. So that was a good approach that I typically use. But again, that touch, I'm also, while I'm moving the ice around. So it's not just sitting there. I'm actually moving it around. I'm massaging it too. So that touch, even self-touch, for me, it works too.
When you again, going back to energy work, emotions is energy in motion. So when you get certain therapies done, or like say for instance, everybody loves to have their hair shampooed.
Yeah.
Yes,
If you let somebody
true.
else to massage your head, it's like God is saying
Yes,
something.
it's a magical feeling.
So, there are many things that we can do to touch, using touch to assist people in moving the energy around. And that's what touch is for. It moves that energy. And then, as you said, when you add intention to that, my intention is love-based, or to assist you in releasing the energy that you're holding in because your energy is not moving. It's a very powerful thing. So touching someone's face, like when a little kid touches your face, like your baby touches both sides of your cheek, you just melt. Mm-hmm. They don't have to do anything, just rub your cheek and you just melt. Mm-hmm. So touch is critical. I think if we did more of it, if we did more touch in a non-invasive way, I think people would become more emotionally balanced quicker.
Yes, I agree.
Because a lot of
with
people
that.
are not touched when they're infants. We've talked about that before.
And so the next segment we're talking about is physical touch every day. How are some of the ways you can receive it and you can give it? Because I know a lot of this conversation has been about what we can receive. But that's important too. So in order to be able to give it, you have to be able to receive it. So don't be shy about that, and making sure that, as you're having conversations or going about your day, these are some things that you can do. So the first one is called daily gestures. It says these are simple, but these are intentional reminders. One, just holding somebody's hand while you're walking. Now we used to do that with our kids. But we're talking about, I want you to, we are looking at this in terms of relationships. And intimate relationships, because I think in our day and age, we skip the intimacy and get right to the sex. And I think that is part of what's missing, because that part of relationship seems to be declining, and it's all about the sex and it's all about the performance. So this topic was important to me because we needed a reminder that it's more than sex. And if you're not experiencing your relationship from a perspective of more than sex, you really need to look at that a little bit differently, because what you really need, that's only a small part of what your body really needs. What we're talking about, touch and affection, your body also needs that. And so we're going to talk some more about some statistics on how that affects us. So holding hands while walking, greeting or parting hugs, like a hug hello. I'm in the studio with Chantel, our producer, and the first thing before I sit down, I'm trying to get to her to get my hug.
Yes, and vice versa. We meet in the middle.
We meet in the middle for sure. A gentle back rub while passing by. And so remember, we're talking about intimacy and our partners as well. That trying to make sure every day that there is an expression, some type of expression, even if it's just holding hands. You can hold hands from coming to the door to sitting on the couch. Hold your mate's hand, or allow them to hold yours. And so affection, active affection needed every day. Energetic, playful, or romantic. Slow dancing. It's just slow dancing in the living room. That's just where my space is. Slow dancing. Playful, wrestling, tickling, or cuddling. I don't like tickling. I do like cuddling. Right? Tickling just makes me feel too vulnerable. And then spontaneous kisses, at least one long embrace daily. So it's nice to have the short kisses, but at some point throughout that day, you need to have one that is a longer, lasting, meaningful kiss. And then the last set is comfort and security every day. So nurturing and grounding, sitting close on the couch, wrapped in a blanket, which is my favorite because my feet are always cold. Stroking his or her hair during stressful moments, or head. Embracing after arguments before discussing the resolution. And an argument, I recall just early in my my life, my marriage, I've been married 3 times. I got the right one the 3rd time. But but I recall that, being too angry to even talk about it at that time. But what he used to do to diffuse me, he would just walk by and just hold my hand like it's okay. Because my fear from arguing was that this is the end of my relationship. And so and that would be really what's on my mind. Oh, are we going to get through this? Are we going to get through this? And that reassuring touch, pat on the back, even if you haven't said anything yet, even if we didn't talk through it yet, that would be my thought, which actually that's one of the ways that my relationship ended. So, because I was thinking that I wasn't aware at that time, but I was thinking that this is gonna be the end of our relationship. Are we gonna really get through this? And it did, because that was the thought that I was holding to, not just the issues around it. I just wanted to be clear about it. And it is important what you say and what you think as well, and how you act on that. So, the next one. Any thoughts on that one? Having physical touch every day.
I love that. I know a lot of people say that they don't want to see their mate, or it's not healthy to see your mate or be around your mate every day, but I find that okay. I find that normal. And a lot of people say when you're going through the dating phase that's not realistic and it's not okay. But I feel like that's important, because if the energy is there and you truly like a person, you're going to want to be around them just naturally. Like, it isn't going to be anything that's forced. Oh, we got to plan weeks out for this. It's just going to happen. So I agree with it. I would personally want, that every day. That reassurance is big. So, yeah, touch is important.
Yeah. Your thoughts, Mom?
I think if you have the right person, why would you not want to see them every day?
Exactly.
Now, I'm not saying that they might not peeve you off. It's like, maybe in the middle of the night, he forgot to put the seat down.
Yeah.
So you have an issue
now
with
you
him
step
in the
right
morning.
in. Yeah.
But,
Right.
But that's momentary. So why would you not want to see them and be around them?
Exactly.
Be excited to see them every day. That's a relationship is work.
Yes.
And if you put the work in, you should be excited to see each other every day. You should want to be around each other every day. And if you're not, you got a little bit more work to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the next section, touch is spiritual language. Touch transmits energy. It's prayer through skin. Spiritually, affectionate touch can, one, seal bonds. It says married couples who pray together and hold hands during prayer report higher levels of marital satisfaction. Transferring peace. So laying a hand on the shoulder, chest, calms the heart and regulates breathing. And the third is awakening gratitude. Intentional, mindful touch, like massaging feet or hands, becomes a ritual of service and thanksgiving. So ways that you can use touch that connect, that, trigger that response, but also that is about your spiritual language. Touch as your spiritual language. Any thoughts here?
There's a real powerful exercise that I've done, really powerful. It doesn't have to be with your significant other, but it's I would say high optimum if you do. And that's where you sit either knee to knee. If you can sit cross-legged, that's better, in front of each other, touching each other. Either your knees touch in a chair, or your knees touch if you're sitting in like a lotus position. And then you put your hand, your right hand, over their heart. They're putting their right hand over your heart, and you leave it there. And you look in each other's eyes, and you do not distract your gaze. You look at each other. Even if you want to look away, you have to continually look at each other, and you do it for maybe about 10, 15 minutes. And all kinds of stuff comes up. If you're having issues with each other, the things that you might have a little issue with are going to come up. You're going to see that in their eyes, and you're going to feel it in their eyes and in their heart. But eventually, if you do it long enough, you will start to soften up. And that opens up an opportunity for conversation, or more, whatever happens after that. But that's a very powerful exercise as it relates to touch and really opening your heart to the person that you're with.
Wow.
Very powerful.
Yes. I can imagine that's powerful. I'm thinking, the staring contest, if you can just do that for 5 seconds, right? Without laughing or having another emotional response or reaction to it. But doing that intentionally for 15 minutes, that's pretty powerful, to be able to sit with somebody in that energy zone anyway. It's going to be really powerful.
Try it. Usually tears come too.
Yep, I can believe that. All right, so the medically and mentally necessary power of touch. So in this realm of our intimate touch, it also reduces pain. Gentle touch can reduce chronic pain perception by up to 57%. Let me say that again. It can reduce pain. Gentle touch can reduce chronic pain perception by up to 57%. It also boosts immunity. It says regular affectionate contact strengthens immune function and reduces illness frequency, and supports mental health. People who receive daily physical affection report significantly lower rates of depression. Wow. I'm trying to think about when someone, I was thinking about a friend of ours was in the hospital, and he had gone through radiation and some other types of things, and he was saying that he was he had a lot of intestinal challenges going on, and so he was really tender, and so he wanted touch, and he was saying that he only wanted certain people to touch him, but he said because he felt like it was a prayer, and he felt better when certain people touched him. And I thought, wow, that was a really powerful. Like, he's getting the medicine from the hospital, but he had his own spiritual medicine that he knew he needed, and he wanted certain people to touch him. It was funny because he didn't want everybody to touch him. Oh, we had him. I see you, Dr. Calvin T. And so that was really important. So it does make you feel better when people are in pain and they gather around you, but that intention that you hold for them, for their peace, for their comfort, it really is a signal that works. And I know when I can remember this last thought, my niece, I had lost my best friend, and it was the day of her funeral, and my niece was with me, and she was just a little thing, probably about 5 at that time, by 5 or 6. And she kept bringing me water, and she bought me a cool towel, and she was like, I know you're sad right now, but I want you to feel better. I want you to feel better. And she just kept tapping the towel around my head and bringing me water. And she come and she touched me on my shoulder. It's going to be okay, Auntie. It's going to be okay. And this was years and years ago, but that I remember that. I remember how she touched me. I remember exactly what she said to me to comfort me. And it always blew my mind that somebody so young had all of these different ways that she was comforting me. Her words, her touch, the water, the cool towel, and her continuous affirmations that I was going to be okay, that I was going to get over it, I was going to be okay. And that level of intention that she held for me at that time is still part of that healing that I'm receiving with her too, because of that loss. So and also in intimate relationships, when you have the comfort of somebody who you love and who loves you, and they touch you when you're going through, it matters. It matters so much. And so, but now we understand that it also has medicinal purposes too in terms of that touch. So the next one is enhance intimacy through touch. When physical touch is prioritized, partners feel seen and desired. Intimacy shifts from obligation to celebration, and couples build a rhythm of closeness that translates into emotional resilience. And so some of those examples: a daily hug lowers blood pressure and reduces heart attack risk. Sexual intimacy, when affectionate, also improves sleep quality and relieves stress. And a massage from a partner reduces migraines and muscle tension significantly. So some other examples of why touch, intimate touch by the person that you love or loves you, is going to help in terms of our healing, right? Not just for enjoyment, but also for our healing. That's another important thing to think about. And then this next one, and then we'll get into some more, a few other statistics that are going to be a little bit more interesting. Touch as a pathway to conflict resolution. Physical affection softens anger, slows reactions, and reminds partners of their bond. So a few examples are some we talked about: holding hands during tough conversations. It lowers the defensiveness of the body. A reconciliation hug before words are exchanged lowers emotional walls. And gentle shoulder touching during apologies create a nonverbal reassurance. And so, any thoughts on that? I know I'm running through this information as it resonates in my head. You can just pull out different circumstances, or when you had a disagreement with somebody that you love, or your mate or intimate partner, that how have those the sense of touch influenced whether something is resolved faster, whether it lingers, or is the lack of touch part of what makes it linger or heals it faster? Any thoughts on that?
I know touch, it can help heal it faster, and it can divert the attention and the energy. I say that prime example, me and my boyfriend at the time, we were kind of going through it, and we were having more of an emotional conversation. And so, of course, I was crying, he was crying. So because of that, I saw that my instant reaction was to just hug. So we were just standing in the middle of the kitchen hugging, and it's like we felt, I don't know what it was, but we felt some type of energy that transferred, and we were just like, whoa, did you feel the significance of that? So that's where our energy kind of, went to, and we, then more so focus on the heat of things or the bad of the moment. We started to more so want to understand what that was that we felt during that hug, because it was powerful. So I can say that power, the power of touch can definitely heal and change things quicker.
Do you share in your relationship first aid courses, especially for couples? Is this part of one of the trainings that you offer?
Not as far as physical touch. I mostly focus on the areas within themselves that they need to work on. So if you are not a person who wants to touch or wants to be touched, or you don't feel comfortable touching people, so we go into like why. What is that about? Let's address that. Does that feel good to you to not want to be touched? And if it doesn't, then let's examine what is that about? Where does that come from? And then once you resolve that, then you will be open to being touched and touching. So it actually, your inner work is the root to all of this. Your ability to be intimate with somebody or not be intimate with somebody, how you relate to all people, how you relate to yourself, your ability to give, your ability to receive, all has to do with what's going on up in here that's not being dealt with. So I deal with the root,
right?
The root issue.
And so for those of you who may not know, I mentioned before, but both of us are authors. And two of the books that would support this conversation right now that I have written, I have a book called 25 Ways to Keep Your Man or Regain His Love, but I also have 100 Ways to Keep Your Woman and Regain Her Love. And when I wrote those books, one, I had interviewed a number of men about their thoughts on, and they said, we're not that complicated. That was one thing that they said that was kind of unanimous. We're not that complicated. And we just need this, and this, and we're good. While that is true on the surface, as I kept digging, there was a lot more that came out of it. So that's where the 25 ways came from. And plus, there are some other bonuses in that book. So if you are exploring a relationship, if you are in the midst of an intimate relationship and you're deciding if you're going to move forward with that person, these are really good books for you to have. So I have a quick commercial just to show you what is in it and how to navigate it. So I want to show you that. And then we're going to get into just a few more statistics before we log off today. So stay tuned for the message. And as always, you can get my books from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or you can reach out to me. We can get that book to you directly. So the next segment of some of the things that we're going to talk about, yeah, they're laughing because they know what it is. Some of the things that we're going to talk about, it really is building relationships. So if you're doing all the things that we just talked about in terms of how intimate touch is used every day, it's going to make these things a lot easier. And this is both for the male and the female. For the female to recognize some of the reasons why you see what you see from your mate or your intimate partner. So I'm just going to jump into a few of the men's health and reasons for touch. So there was a study in 2006 from Harvard University and also with the Public Health that found that men who ejaculate more than 20 times per month were about 20% less likely to develop prostate cancer compared to those who only ejaculated only 4 to 7 times a month. And so part of the explanation for that was that it helps to flush out potential carcinogenic substances or reduce the accumulation of toxins in the prostate. And so that set them on a better course. So women, and this is not just about masturbation, it actually is about intercourse. And so the health benefits for both him and you in the process. And so
I got to say something, right?
No, go ahead.
I can't let this slide. So now they're going to say, so if we do it 100 times a month, then we're 100 times less likely to develop prostate cancer.
Right. But it also says, so under our mental health, it also says that people having sex once or twice a week had about a 40 to 42% lower risk of depression. And it also enhances your lifestyle. So that is at least two.
The math ain't mathing.
Once or twice a week had 42% lower risk of being depressed. So immune function, let's see, the same thing. Once or twice a week had higher levels of immunoglobulin, which is also connected to saliva, which is also connected to some other types of sex, if you missed that. Also, better sleep, better stress reduction. After orgasms and sexual activity, it says releases the oxytocin and endorphins, supported also by better sleep. And, here's another one I think is important. It also helps with your cardiac and blood pressure benefits with regular sexual activity. Mm-hmm. It says it lowers the risk of cardiovascular disease and better heart health.
I can see that.
So it's saying to do it more. And do it more. Okay, so the point is that physical touch really has a purpose. And the more you engage or practice different types of touch, different types of affection, is going to heighten your relationship, your health, your spiritual growth, your mental growth, all aspects of who you are. So don't take it lightly. And if you're having challenges, this is how you also work through those challenges. And so we wanted to make sure that you had some insight, some examples on what you could possibly do and how you could engage in your love language and keep enhancing that love language. And so here's another opportunity for expressing love through gifts. because I'm also the executive director of Encourage Me I'm Young, MEEMIY. And we have a fundraiser that is a holiday box fundraiser, and we are working with Sweet Potato Delights to provide holiday boxes. So it's a cookie sampler box, or you can pick the same cookie if you like. The boxes are $10, and we need 10 people. Our goal is to get at least 50 boxes. So we're looking to go beyond that, but 50 boxes. So that would be getting 10 people to buy 5 boxes, or to encourage other people to get their 10 people with 5 boxes, or 5 people with 10 boxes. Either way it works. And these are healthy cookies. They're healthy, gluten-free.
Delicious.
And they are delicious. So if you're worried about your sugar intake, if you're worried about that sugar level and sugar count, this is a healthy alternative. It's also, sweet potatoes is another superfood. And so I'm going to let you see the commercial with Dr. Valanda is talking about the cookies, the health properties of it, and how this fundraiser is helping smaller organizations to raise funds. Our cookie sales start the 15th. And so we need your support. So please reach out, get your cookies, and be a part of our fundraising efforts. So the cookies are actually being delivered for the holiday. So just after Thanksgiving toward the Christmas holiday. So we have a little bit of time to get more than enough of our cookies sold. So we need your support in that. If you can, please run that commercial.
Yes.
I'm Dr. Valanda Anderson, and you're here with Sweet Potato Delights. Sweet potatoes is a superfood. Plain and simple.
Oh, it's like a trail mix cookie kind of things, and it's got all kind of gooey, good wonderfulness in there. And I like a lot of different textures and stuff. So yeah, that's my favorite if I have to pick one.
And she takes the time to give designs to her cookies, particularly when it's Christmas time, and they come out like Christmas trees and reindeer and all, and it makes the young people interested.
Support nonprofit organizations that are doing great work for children, veterans, and seniors.
My favorite cookie is the trail mix, but it's really followed by the chocolate chip and then the lemon.
This is our cookie box sampler.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
They're really good too.
They are a healthy choice. They are really a healthy choice. It's not a sugary cookie. So for those of you who are monitoring your blood sugar, or these also would make great holiday gifts for people who that want something sweet but should not have something sweet. And so we need your support. And of course, with Emmy Apparel, we have our She Can Too movement. And, that is a powerful message that is supporting women in all the different ways that we are affected by what's happening in our world today, but also what we have the potential to do and to become. And so get your She Can Too t-shirt. You can find that on Emmy Apparel, or you can also come and visit our Emmy Apparel store. So all of those wonderful things that are happening here as we moving through the middle to the end of September, it is time to do something new and do something different. And so we are so happy that you joined us today. We're going to ask my aunt to let people know how they can reach you.
All right. My email address is relationshipfirstaid@yahoo. Website, relationshipfirstaid.com. Instagram, Facebook, Relationship First Aid. Keep it simple.
Thank you. I am Dr. Hetheru. You can reach me at YourInspired with a D, YourInspiredJourney.com. You can reach me by phone at 313-759-7855. And also you can reach me by phone at 313-759-7855. I really do prefer that, so I can actually talk to you and connect. And so we have some amazing things coming up in September. October is going to be a very special month with the Poskers kicking off October on October 3rd. And we have our book club, our Lessons for the Journey book club every third Wednesday of the month. We had an amazing visit with author Leslie Andrews, and we had a chance to take a sneak preview on her book for our book club coming up October. We have our Women's Summit coming up October 18th. This is an amazing time. It's an amazing time for women. We also have a special event coming up next week at the Congressional Black Caucus Week with Women Leaders of Michigan. Our luncheon is going to be on that Thursday at 11 a.m. in Washington, D.C. at the Swahili Village.
Nice.
So if you're in Washington, please make sure you get your tickets and attend that Women in Leadership event. So looking forward to everything that's going on this way.
Her podcast.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
and we can't forget that our producer also has a podcast. Chantel, you want to?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ladies. My podcast is One Step Closer. It comes on Podcasting Network every Thursday at 1 p.m. Check out yesterday's episode. I had Miss Tika Ganaway, and she is the owner of Detroit Coffee Lodge.
Nice. Yes, she's an amazing woman.
Yes.
An amazing
Love
woman.
Miss Tika. So
Yes.
thank you again, Miss Tika, for the time for coming on.
All right. So thank you. That is a glimpse at who we are and what we do. How about you? We hope that you got something valuable in your lesson for the journey today. Hope you took your notes and your journals so that you can continue to explore the topic. And if you want to reach out to any of us, please feel free to do that. I want you today to drink more water and stay clear.
She tells all of her children that they must solve problems. She explains the power and the dynamic that she carries throughout life, the impact that she holds in this world. She Can Too by Amy Apparel. She can run. She can hoop. She can lead. She can love. There are not many things that she can't do. But one thing's for sure. Her power is unapologetic, and her work is relentless. On August 31st, Amy Apparel drops She Can Too.